Hello YouTube and preppers, this is the Comms Prepper, and this video is a follow-up video to one I put up about 2 weeks ago. And in that video I demonstrated how you can make voice over internet protocol phone calls between two VoIP phones using a amateur radio digital radio. And that was the unit you see here. The hardware here is a Ubiquiti Nanostation M2 bridge Wi-Fi commercial device with the original operating system removed and a new operating system installed, produced by the Amateur Radio Emergency Data Network. I'll put a link down below to their website. And essentially what it does is blows away the factory OS or operating system on this unit and installs an amateur radio version, which allows you to do a little bit more than you can do with the commercial OS. This is a wireless transmitter or a digital network. It's also a router and a DHCP server all in one unit. And I'll walk around here real quick. And in this configuration, I did the camo paint. Normally these units are white. I have the radio sitting here on a pole temporarily with a zip tie, some Cat5 cabling that goes into the retreat, which is connected to a managed router, which is a VLAN connected to my Linksys home internet. It has a gateway feature, but right now I have that turned off. Up there on the hill above the off-grid solar power system is another unit, and that is the Nanostation Loco M2 unit, a little smaller unit, again with the ham radio version firmware produced by AREDN. And again, I'll put a link down below. And I have a IP security camera up there. So what I'm going to demonstrate is using these amateur radio digital radios to access a security camera. The last video we did phone calls. In this demonstration, I'm going to show you how you can access a camera. Applications for amateur radio: you can put a camera maybe at a repeater site. If it's a panning and zoom camera or a tilt camera, you could probably look around the room and check all the lights of your equipment. So I'm going to pause the camera here, walk up the hill, and power up the other unit up there, and then we'll continue the video inside the retreat with the desktop capture software, and I'll show you how I can access that camera. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm up here above the retreat. Again, the distance isn't that great because I'm working by myself today, so I'm going to keep everything on the property. Here's the temporary setup, so please don't judge the installation here. I only did this for the video. That's an outside FOSS cam. I'll put a link down below. Below that, I have the Ubiquiti Nanostation Loco M2 with the AREDN amateur radio firmware loaded. And below that, I'm using Hardened Power Systems QRP Ranger to power all this, just temporarily here. The radio, I've been told, will run on 12 volts, but I haven't been able to confirm that. So right now I'm using a step-up power supply to go from 12 volts to 24 volts, where I'm injecting that power into a passive PoE injector, which provides the 24 volts to run the AREDN mesh radio. And then the camera itself is 12 volts, so that's running directly to the QRP Ranger made by Hardened Power Systems. So right now, everything should be set up and connected from this point here, line of sight, down to the other unit, and we'll head into the retreat, and I'll power up the laptop, and we'll complete this video with a demonstration of how I can actually access this camera. So I'll try to walk down the hill here without breaking a leg, and I'll see you inside. And a quick shot looking back. Now that I'm down the hill a little bit. Oh, I forgot to turn the power supply on. Be right back. Alright, I've got the desktop capture software running. It's called Camtasia. I'm connected to the access point here in the retreat that's connected to the managed switch, which is providing that Cat5 cable out to the first radio down here by the retreat, the first radio in the mesh. So now we're going to go over and open up my internet browser. And I've already created some shortcuts here. I apologize for the node numbering. I actually bought 3 of these radios, and when you configure them, you put your call sign in and then -1, -2, -3 for each node that you add. So I have 3 of these radios, so I have 3 nodes. It just so happens I put 2 down here at the retreat and 3 up on the hill. So we'll go ahead and access the node. And this is the GUI you get, the new operating system produced by the Amateur Radio Emergency Data Network. Now I can click this button here to see the mesh status, and this will show me all the neighboring mesh radios. So right now I just have the one, which is up on the tree, and that's my -3 radio. And now I can actually click on this link and see the screen for that radio up there in the hill. Now I'm connected to the one where the camera's at, and if I go into setup, it's going to ask me for a username and password. I can see what is connected to this radio by looking at the DHCP table, and right now I have one item connected, and that's the IP address, and I've gone ahead and already created a shortcut for that to access that IP address. I did add port 88 because that's what the FOSS cameras have. I'll put my password in for the camera, and it should come up. There we have it. So I'm accessing this security camera over Amateur Radio Mesh Network with firmware produced by the Amateur Radio Emergency Data Network. And again, I'll put a link down below. I tried playing around with one of my pan and tilt cameras, but it was raining last night and it's not an outside weatherproof camera. But I could see a lot of applications for this. You put these at repeater sites, you can check on your equipment. It's a very cool capability, and I think I'm going to do a little more testing with these Amateur Radio Emergency Data Network radios because they're a lot of fun. They're easy to update or flash to convert into an amateur radio, and they have a lot of great capability. So there's my demonstration, and as always, thank you for watching my videos and subscribing to my channel. This has been the Comms Prepper with another video on the Amateur Radio Emergency Data Network firmware update for Ubiquiti commercial Wi-Fi devices. Thanks for watching, everybody.